Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We're going to start with the test. Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 8 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 8 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find the list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter percents. The lessons we're going to cover from the chapter are solve percent equations, percent of change word problems. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples definitions as well. So here I'm on grade 8 math chapter we are on, right? To start with the lesson that is solve percent equations. So let's just start with the lesson. 1 is 25% of what number? So we need to calculate 1 is 25% of what number? So basically we are given the part. We need to calculate the whole number, right? So just make a proportion that would be 1 over n equals 25 over 100. So when you solve the equation that equals n equals 4. So that means 1 is 25% of 4. Okay, let's just start with the test questions. 'Again, the same question. 1 is 25% of what number? So 1 is 25% of 4. That's the one we just did on the tutorial. So 1 is 25% of 4. 24 is what percent of 60? Twenty-four is what percent of 60? That means 24 over 60 equals P divided by 100, right? So that would be 24 times 100 over 60. 6 times 4 is 24. That means 40%. So 24 is 40% of 60. Got it? The correct option is 24 is 40% of 60. Option number 1 is the correct option. 4 is what percent of 40? So 4 is the part of the whole 40. You need to calculate what percent. So P equals 4 times 100 divided by 40. So P equals 10%. The correct option is 10. P equals 10. Option number 2 is the correct option. What is 75% of 88? 84. We need to calculate 75% of 84. So we need to calculate the n divided by 84 equals 75 over 100. So n equals 75 times 84 over 100. So you have to do 75 times 84, that is 6300 over 100, that equals 63. Option number 2 is the correct option. The correct option is 63. Option number 2 is the correct option. What percent of 28 is 14? 50% of 28 is 14. Option number 1 is the correct option. Hundred percent of 48 is 48. Option number 2 is the correct option. 30% of 10 is 30% of 10 is 3. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is percent of change. Option number 2 is the correct option. What is the percent of change from 65 to 26? So we need to calculate the percent of change. So how do we calculate the percent of change? That would be amount of change divided by the original amount. So amount of change you can calculate by 65 take away 26 over 65. That is 39 over 65. That equals 0.6. You need to calculate the percentage. So multiply it by the 100. So that would be 100%. Let's just start with the test questions. What is the percentage change from 5 to 3? So let's just calculate the percentage change, right? 5 to 3 means you have to do 5 minus 3, that is degrees, right? 5 minus 3 over 2, so that would be 2 over 5. Let's just use the calculator. So 2 divided by 5 is 40% degrees, 0.4 multiplied by the 100. That means that would be 40% degrees. Option number 1 is the correct option. Option number 1 is the correct option. That is 40% degrees. What is the percentage change from 600,000 to 900,000? So let's just calculate the percentage. So the percentage of change is amount of change divided by the original amount. So 600,000 minus 900,000 is minus 300,000 because that is a decrease, right? And divided by the original amount, that is 600,000. The negative sign represent that is a decrease. That means that is a decrease. Oh, that is an increase from 600,000 to 900,000 is increasing. So 50% increase it is. The correct option is 50%. Option number 2 is the correct option. What is the percentage change from 800,000 to 1 million? So, so 800,000 to 1 million is 200,000. 200,000 divided by 800,000. So that would be 1 over 4. That equals 25% increase. Option number 1 is the correct option. Option number 1 is the correct option. That is 25% increase. What is the percentage change from 5,000 to 200? So 5,000 to 200, the amount of change is 4,800 divided by 5,000. So let's just divide 4,800 divided by 5,000 is 0.96. So that equals 96%. The correct option is 96%. Option number one is the correct option, that is 96% decrease. What is the percentage change from 2000 to 400? So, which is the correct option? So, 200 to 4000, 2000 to 400. 2000 minus 400 is 1600 divided by 2000 is 0.8. That means that is a decrease, 80% decrease it is. The correct option is 80% decrease. Option number one is the correct option. What is the percentage change from 500,000 to 700,000? So that is an increase, right? So seven 200,000 divided by, that is 0.4. That means 40% increase it is. Option number two is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. Percentage of change word problems. As part of an ongoing service project, the students at Washington High School recently spent an afternoon planting trees. They plant an average of 4 trees per participant. This month, they plan to do more planting, averaging 75% more trees per participant this time. What will be the average this month? 75% more means you should add 75% the original amount, right? 100% of original amount plus 75% of original amount, right? So the total is 175% of original amount. So you have to do 175% of 4. So 175% of 4 equals 7. So they are 7 trees. Let's just start with the test questions. The cheerleading squad at Silver Grove High School are 16 had 16 members with the old coach. Now with the new coach, there are 50% more members on the squad. How many members are on the squad now? So 50% more means originally they are 100% and 50% more means they are now 150%, right? So just calculate 150% of 16. So 150% of 16 is 24. Option number 1 is the correct option. That would be 24 members. The correct option is 24. What do you mean by recorded? Option number 1 is the correct option. That is 24 members. Roski needed 4 gallons of gas last week. This week, Roscoe ended up needing 25% more than that amount. How much gas is that? So, which is the correct option? So, 25% more gas, right? So, for originally it was 100% and 25% more means 100 plus 25, that is 125%, right? So, 4 times 125% equals just two calculations And we have to do 125% times 4, that equals 5. So 125% of 4 equals 5. The correct option is 5. Option number 1 is the correct option. That would be 5 gallons. Miki just measured her dog and found out it weighs 112 kilograms. The last time she measured, the dog weighed 64 grams. What percent heavier is the dog now? So, what percent heavier is the dog now? 50%, sorry, 112 kilograms now, right? And earlier it was 64 kilograms. What percent it is? So you can calculate the percent of change, right? That would be 112 minus 64 over 64 because originally it was 64 kilogram. So 100 minus 64 is 48, and 48 divided by 64 is 0.75. So that means that would be 75%. Option number 1 is the correct option. A software company is in Springdale used to bill client $240 per hour for work done by its consultants. The company recently adjusted its rates and now charge 228 per hour. What was the percent of decrease in the billing rate? So you need to calculate the percent of change. So amount of change is 240 minus 228. That would be a decrease. So 12 divided by 240 is 50%, 5%. The correct option is 5%. Option number 5% option number 2 is the correct option. According to her running log, Jill averaged 2 miles per week last month and 1 mile per week this month. But why? By what percent has her average decreased? So it would be decreased by 50%. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 8 math. The chapter we were working on is percents. The lessons we have covered today are solve percent equations, percent of change, and then percent of change word problems. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lessons, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you, or either you can write them down in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So, any questions you can please ask if you have any. No questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye, everyone.